Okay, so guys, what I've done is I've asked you guys to come up with a topic divided into two tables with four fields at least, and then enter the data manually. Now, you can probably realize that once you design the table and then go back into your data sheet view, the entering of the data can be a little bit cumbersome. All right, so what happens is we're going to create a form to make that a lot easier and enable data to be entered even if you're looking at this as an online database without us having to be there and do it manually. That introduces inaccuracies, some human errors as well. So by creating forms and validation on those forms, we come up with a database with a bit more integrity. Now, we don't really need to have two tables, but the reason why I'm doing two tables is so that you are introduced to relational databases. All right, and so that pretty much creates more meaningful information by joining a number of tables. Okay, like I've said, if I have all the computing marks, and then you also have English, science, and maths, and all your other subjects, okay, they'll all be on different tables. But then when you get a report, all your subjects will be on there in one document. So it's more meaningful than just getting one report for each subject. Okay, hopefully that makes sense to you or highlights the efficiency of having a relational database. Now, when I'm creating a form, what I'm going to want to do, all right, I'm going to go create, all right, and we're going to go to the form wizard just to make it easier for us to start off. And as you can see, there are fields which you'll have on the form. Now, I'm going to try and put them on in a sensible order. So we're going to have a park name and address, um, parking postcode, where there's suburb postcode, sorry, where there's parking available. And then I'm going to go to talk about the play equipments. Now, I've left the ID out of the form because that's not useful, and users will not know what the IDs are or the range of numbers to be used in the ID. So this is something people that are just doing a little bit of work for you, do the legwork for you, are going to enter and make your job easier. We go next. All right, and it just shows you different ways you can set out the form. You can keep it simple. All right, you can rename your forms accordingly, and then there you go. Finish. Now it says the form parks form already exists. You want to replace it? Okay. All right. Here we go. That might not come up for you. Now here's what a form looks like, and we can change how it looks like by going through all the aesthetics and have background colors and images and so forth. But basically, guys, you've got this. These are your existing records. Eventually, you'll come to an empty one. All right, and so I'm just going to go in here and do one that we will all know. All right, and you know what? I actually don't know the address, but I'll just guess it. All right, there we go. That's a good guess too. All right, so is there parking available? There's no specific parking at C4 Park. I know there are swings. I know there's a slide. I'm not sure if there's a barbecue area, and there's no soccer goals. All right, so there. I've entered the information for C4 Park, and I'm happy. And then I've entered that. All right, good. That's made my job a lot easier. Okay. Now, with regards to how that updates the table, all right, you might have to close the table and then reopen it here. And what do you know? C4 Park is now added. Okay, all the information that we've put in is added. Now, that's handy, okay, because doing the form makes the entry into multiple tables a lot easier, okay, and then when we start doing queries, okay, then we can look up more specific things, all right, so I can look up, for example, a postcode of a park and just whether it has a slide or not. Okay, so that's why we have multiple tables, and that's how it helps the queries. It's because it's all related. Okay, so if you just see how that works. Okay, now this works in the background because of this feature called relationships. All right, and so you can find it just by typing in relationships in here. Okay, relationships, and there we go. You can open this, and then as we're dragging tables in, we see the tables are now linked. All right, they're linked by their IDs. All right, so that is what allows the form to enter data in multiple tables, and that's why the primary key is important. It creates unique entries for each park that I would like to do in this instance. So Some of your software will do that automatically. Other ones you'll have to create these links. All right. So this is how it looks though if you're using Microsoft Access.